Live to Sonoma Raceway in Northern California. Pirelli World Challenge GT action on Sunday. About to get going. I'm Rick Benjamin, Jeff Lepper alongside. Glad to have you with us on MotorTrendOnDemand.com, World-Challenge.com as we bring you live streaming coverage. And, of course, we'll have this one as well on our CBS Sports Network telecast.
That'll air next Sunday. Check your local listings at CBS Sports Net for our enhanced coverage. We'll get the winner interviews, the driver interviews, the in-car cameras, and, of course, the great commentary from Rick Benjamin, Jeff Lepper, and Hayward Wagner here with you on the live web stream. Just want to remind everybody that's tuning in worldwide now, we are actually doing our CBS recording of our show as well. So you'll see some breaks, and we might repeat some stuff. We might play some stuff twice, hear some chatter in the background. But hopefully you'll see some great action from these GT cars here today.
Well, I think the interesting story to me, Jeff, today as we get set to look at this, Austin Cindric led all the way until the white flag yesterday. Johnny O'Connell tried him once, dropped back. I haven't had a chance to speak to Johnny O since yesterday. It looked to me as though he was deliberately cooling his tires, knew he had enough to get there, waited and pounced on the last lap as they were into 7 and coming down the hill. What happens today? Because Cindric's on the pole again. Alvaro Brent is alongside in the team car, the 9 car, the Apex McLaren. And you've got O'Connell there lining up third with John Fogerty alongside today. Michael Cooper, Johnny's teammate, right behind him, the other caddy. So he might be able to help Johnny get a little better start coming down the front straightaway.
I was thinking that. I was wondering with the caddies being nose to tail now, can Cooper just push O'Connell right there on the inside and get on the inside of Parent through 1, but then have the outside through 2. And sort of if you can carry that momentum there through the outside of 2 and get a good launch through there, it gives you the inside of 3, which is really only a 1 lane through there. So it's going to be interesting how it's going to play out in the start. You say he led every lap but the last one. He led every lap but the last 3 corners.
Yeah.
So it was turn 9 when that pass was made. You got 10, 11, and 12 for Johnny. So only led 3 corners of this race for Johnny O'Connell and able to get that win. And that really mathematically kept him in the championship. If he doubles up here again today, it's going to help his cause, but we're still watching that battle between Alvaro Parent, Patrick Long. Long only has a 5-point lead now over Alvaro Parent, and Long qualified all the way back, I believe, in the 14th position. So he's got a lot of work to do here today.
Yeah, Pat Long has just not been quick in that car this weekend, and it's got to be frustrating for him because you know you're capable of winning the championship, certainly. The team's got that capability, and you come to the next to last weekend of the season with the lead, and you don't really perform very well to this point anyway.
It really at all, and it's kind of heartbreaking because he really came out of Utah Motorsports Campus with that points lead after the problems that Michael Cooper and Alvaro Parent had, so he was sort of in the catbird seat. Going into Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, that track notoriously not a Porsche track, so he's going to struggle here today in the penultimate round, and then only 1 round to go 3 weeks from now at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
So the drivers climbing into their race cars, the command not yet given to start engines here at Sonoma Raceway in Northern California. Picture perfect day, late summer in California. This is as good as it gets, getting up to 87, 88 degrees right now. Track temps, I would think, are going to bust 100 here before we're done today.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the engineers at the Dime Racing Mercedes team, and they said that they had the pyrometers into the asphalt when we were right at 103, and that was about 30 minutes ago. So it's going to be well over 100 degrees. These Pirelli P06, we ain't worried about those. Those will last all race long. But we got to give a good shout-out here to Martin Fuentes for his GTA championship.
Absolutely. Congratulating Martin for his performance yesterday, and he will line up in 18th spot, second in GTA. Command given to fire the motors here at Sonoma Raceway.
Cars are getting ready to roll out here, and wow, what a great sound from all those cars.
Cadillac ATS-V pace car will lead the field off of pit road, and that Cadillac Escalade safety truck will follow along and be parked in a prominent position here. Hopefully we'll not need its services at all today. But, Jeff, as you said earlier today, always better to have it, not need it, than need it and not have it, as the Cadillac ATS-V pace car takes our 29-car strong field off of pit road, getting set for Pirelli World Challenge GT action. A couple of pace laps upcoming.
You mentioned that Cadillac Escalade safety vehicle. There's a good shot of it right there, pacing the field in our GT, GTA, and GT Cup category as they go down through the back of our GT Cup field. Follow them around. And Don Harple driving our Cadillac ATS-V pace car, and some of the great machinery that you see here, the K-Pax McLarens on the front row. Once again, Austin Cindric, Alvaro Parent, Johnny O'Connell in his Cadillac Racing ATS VR, Fogarty in another McLaren, Cooper in a Cadillac, Michael Lewis doing just a superb job in that Circle Porsche of Long Beach, Smile Foundation, Porsche 911 GT3R from Calvert Dynamics sitting there in the 6th position. And then I bet little sub there, super stub, Jonathan Somerton stepping in for Frankie Montecalvo in that Dime Racing Mercedes.
Now, Jonathan is just a terrific driver, has not gotten the opportunities that he would have liked, made his way through the open wheel ladder system, appeared to be headed for IndyCar or other things. He had told me, this was 7 or 8 years ago now, his aim was to go to Europe, which he did for a while, and take a run at getting to Formula One. But as we all know, the opportunities for American drivers in F1, few and far between now with Haas F1. That may change some in the years to come. But Alexander Rossi, now the guy who's got that opportunity. Jonathan, a little older now, certainly, but great to see him in that car, and he was super quick yesterday.
Yeah, did a good job. Had a problem there on the start into turn number 1, spun the car, came back to recover to set the 7th fastest time. Brian Highcutter, your double winner from Utah Motorsports Campus, will start in the 8th place. And Gunnar Jeanette making his debut here in the Pirelli World Challenge season. He had made one start before this in an Audi touring car back in the day. So Gunnar Jeanette comes back into a GT machine there with that WeatherTech Alex Job Racing Porsche. He'll start in the 9th place. Rounding out your top 10 in our GT category, it's Kyle Marcelli in the DeVilbiss Audi R8 LMS from CRP Racing. Adderley Fong will start 11th in the Bentley. J.D. Davidson in the 2nd of the 2 GTRs from Always Evolving in 12th. Ryan Eversley, the first of the Acura TLX GTs, will start in 13th. And your points leader right now by only 5 points over Alvaro Parent will start in the 14th place in that Wright Porsche Consulting 911 GT3R. Patrick Long, Colin Thompson, dismal race yesterday. He'll start in the 15th place in his K-Pax McLaren. And Peter Cox, the 2nd of the 2 TLX GTs, round out your GT field in the 16th place.
So it's a great field of cars, and there you see the 2 McLarens. Austin Cindric finishing in 2nd spot yesterday, getting passed on the final lap by Johnny O'Connell in the Cadillac, the Rev 6 car. And we'll see if Austin Cindric can be strong and close the deal today if he is able to run at the front. But certainly I know he is going to be thinking that this place owes him one, probably, after what happened yesterday.
After yesterday, no doubt this place owes him there. So we're trying to see if we can... if Cindric can go ahead and close the deal here today. We got our GTA category. Mike Shine starts on pole once again in his Wright Motorsports Porsche 911. Martin Fuente is your champion-elect in our GT category. He wants to extend that record to 10. Got a good chance to talk to Hayward earlier this weekend on pit lane, and he gave us a little pre-race update about Martin. Cooper McNeil, 3rd place yesterday in his debut in Pirelli World Challenge in the 2nd of those WeatherTech Porsche 911s from Alex Job. Good podium finish for him in GTA category.
So we'll watch all 3 of those battles for you. Of course, GT Cup a little further back. Alec Udell, Sloan Uri, Corey Fergus, one of the guys that we see each and every week in Pirelli World Challenge. Uri and Udell have certainly had their fights over the years in this category, and we look forward to more of the same from those 2 drivers here today. No question about that. The 2 Acura TLX GTs in one of their final runs in Pirelli World Challenge. The official announcement coming here earlier this weekend. Acura and Honda Racing will bring a couple of Acura NSX GT3 supercars to the fight next year in the hands of Real Time Racing. Not sure yet who the drivers are going to be with Sprint X. They'll probably need more than 2, whether Peter Cunningham continues or not. Not certain at this point. We'd certainly expect Ryan Eversley to be in one of these cars in Pirelli World Challenge, but a lot of off-season decisions to be made, and by a lot of these teams and manufacturers.
A lot of stuff to do. So we're going to switch from our live stream over to our CBS call. Bang, thank you so much for joining us worldwide. Full acceleration.
Yeah. Put the ball on the tee and getting set for a start here at Sonoma Raceway. GT action in Pirelli World Challenge. He's Jeff Lepper. I'm Rick Benjamin. Cadillac ATS-V safety car headed for pit road, and the 2 McLarens will lead us to green, getting ready to get on the gas.
Yeah, looking for that VP Racing Fuel acceleration zone. Austin Cindric will be the first one trying to get that green flag.
Cindric on the inside in that aqua-colored and black Playback McLaren. Yesterday's winner, Johnny O'Connell. Johnny Red dives to the inside of that Cadillac. Great start. Little bump on Cindric. He is side by side with Perret for the top spot.
Oh, Brent just steps the car out. John Fogarty, a tremendous start. His McLaren up to second place, made some contact with Overo. That accordion effect, you see that back there with Adderley Fong and Ryan Eversley trying to work their way through there as well.
Peter Cox back in the mix as well. Up front, it's O'Connell. Cindric fading back to third behind his teammate Perret. Make it fourth spot. Here comes Michael Cooper on the inside. J.D. Davidson there in the Nissan trying to get going in the AE car.
Colin Thompson gets a tremendous start trying to work his way up through the field. Got past Peter Cox there as he's right on the back bumper of Patrick Long, your points leader in the GT category.
Gunnar Jeanette, meantime, and Kyle Marcelli in contact. One car dead stick in the middle of the highway there.
That's our Gainesco John Fogarty.
That is Fogarty, wow. And I was just about to ask you a question about Fogarty and how that team has struggled. I thought they'd come in here and be competitive week in and week out. They really haven't had that. Traffic jam in turn 7. Jeanette gets shouldered to the side there as well.
Yeah, it looks like both those WeatherTech Porsches kind of got balked there in turn number 7. Good recovery from Jeanette, though, as he's battling with Colin Thompson all the way back up to, I believe, the 8th position there. So good start for Jeanette, who started back in 9th.
J.D. Davison diving to the inside, trying to pick up another position here. Looks like he may be able to get it done. Brian Heitkotter on the move. Double winner at Utah Motorsports Campus a few weeks ago. And Michael Cooper, one of the drivers of the other Cadillac entry in the 8 car. Heavy contact there. It looks like maybe he and Fogarty were the two who got together.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And Fogarty pulls off heavy damage to Michael Cooper's car here. And with the good victory, the podium in 3rd place yesterday, he's in that 3rd place in the championship. This is going to affect his position.
No doubt about that. Johnny O'Connell says, thanks, boys. Fight it out amongst yourselves. See you later. He is headed off into the sunset on lap number 2 by 4.3 seconds over Alvaro Perret.
What a great start from Johnny O'Connell. Just read that VP fuel acceleration zone perfectly. Got the green flag, got the jump. And
Adderley Fong in trouble here in the 88 car. The Absolute Racing Bentley.
Yeah, heavy damage to his rear there. You see the back bumper falling off, and it looks like out of alignment on that rear suspension there.
So Fong, who was pretty strong here in day 1 action on Saturday. The 9 car of Perret running in 2nd. Cindric is 3rd. Heitkotter, the double winner in the last outing in Utah, is 4th. Another look back at the start. O'Connell taking advantage up the hill. Fogarty at the moment side by side here for 2nd.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that contact that Fogarty and Cindric had there caused that right rear tire to go down. I got to think, Rick, that's what the cause was.
That's Fong's incident there. We saw Fong pulling off. Take a look back here in GT Cup. Alec Udell, Sloan Uri running 1 and 2 as they come down the hill headed towards 7. Take a look back at the start for GT Cup as they come out of the final corner.
Mike Hedlund there in that white Porsche trying to get a good start with Flying Lizard. Didn't have a chance to livery that car up here, so he's running the full white Porsche from Flying Lizard Motorsports. But great jump by Alec Udell. Pulls about a 2-car width lead over Sloan Uri, and he's able to maintain that now as we come back up to speed with GT Cup.
Alec Udell with a nice start, good launch there, and Sloan Uri, who has battled with Udell in this category heavily over the last couple of seasons. He'll have his work cut out for him. Now, Jonathan Somerton in the Mercedes, the silver, black, and yellow Mercedes that we see there. Where's Somerton right now? He is 8th, but he's lost a position. Patrick Long had gotten by, and there's Long making a move on the charge in the 58 car. Colin Thompson back there as well behind Somerton, so you've got 7th, 8th, and 9th.
You talk about Colin Thompson and the start that he is running in 9th right now. He picked up 7 positions on that first lap to earn our Optima Best Start of the Race award. So that Playback McLaren team got that car fixed up for young Colin Thompson, your GT Cup winner last season. And he looks to be on a rail here at Sonoma Raceway today, working his way to the front of the series.
Fuentes, meantime, in the Hublot 07 car is on pit road. Looks like he's got an early problem. Good thing he locked up his title yesterday.
Oh, that's going to be heartbreaking because I know as much as the title being locked up, Martin's a racer. He wants to win and extend that race record of 9 wins in a single season.
Great start for Peter Cox, the invader from Europe in the 34 car. Peter Cunningham's Acura TLX GT lined up 16th, took advantage of the first lap shuffling, climbed all the way to 10th in front of his teammate now, Ryan Eversley.
Ryan Eversley, the 2 Acura TLX GTs running in 12th and 13th respectively. So you see both of those cars running. Peter Cox over his teammate Ryan Eversley now. And we talked with race control here. They get a word that the incident with the Gainesco number 99 will be reviewed post-race. So we'll see what happens there with that Red Dragon. Just heartbreaking for John Fogarty and those folks at Gainesco.
Patrick Long, whatever his woes were yesterday, they seem to have been solved. He is 7th and gaining ground. He's picked up 7 spots since the drop of the green. Johnny O'Connell, meantime, in the red number 3, the Cadillac ATSV, the 4-time series champ, defending champion. And Jeff, when we were coming on the air, we started to talk a little bit about how he's got an outside shot if he can double up here this weekend.
He does. Mathematically, he's still in it. We'll see if Johnny O'Connell can make it happen here today.
Second spot belongs to Parent there in the 9. His teammate Cindric, the pole sitter in the 6 car, is third. We'll come right back with more Pirelli World Challenge GT action on the CBS Sports Network.
Well, back live with you here on the World Wide Web. That was our opening call for the CBS Sports Network for race number 2. That was some great action there in the front of the field. They barely had time to even take a breath here with everything that was going on.
You grew up in this area. They say rush hour around here is something you've got to experience for yourself to understand what it's like. We had rush hour right here at, 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon.
And had Peter Roberts in race control over the team radios as well, saying, tell all of your drivers that this is a race and not a demolition derby. So really going to be hard on these penalties and trying to get these drivers to settle down a little bit and let's put on a show and make a race of this. There's no need for that beating and banging.
James Davison in the 33, up to 6th position now after starting 12th. Another one of those drivers who cashed in big on the opening lap skirmishes as the cars came up through 1 and 2 and up at the top of the hill there. Eversley on the 43, right behind Cox on the 34. Spencer Pompelli had driven that car the last several rounds. Peter Cunningham, the team principal, 7-time series champ as a driver, focusing on development for the Acura NSX GT3, which will become the official Acura entry from Real Time and World Challenge starting next season. So good to see Cox in that car. He and Cunningham have been sharing the development duties. Here's Patrick Long now, putting all sorts of pressure on J.D. Davison in the Nissan as they fight it out for 6th and 7th.
Yeah, Patrick Long's not only pressuring for that 6th position, he's pressing for a championship here. Only has a 5-point lead. The way they run now, Parent would retake the points battle over Patrick Long. Patrick would still have 2nd safe because of the problems of Michael Cooper, who slotted all the way back in 27th overall in the GT category. So Cooper last listed as a lap down.
Tough break for Michael Cooper, who certainly had his hopes and dreams shattered here on the opening lap. A terrific young campaigner. We're going to see a lot more from Michael Cooper. The Cadillac ATSV crew has put the nose of that car back into some sort of raceable shape. They peeled most of the bodywork away from the left front corner. So he's out there with kind of an open-wheel modified look on that car. But Cooper trying to make some hay, needs some help with a caution flag and some other track position opportunities here. The 17 of Udell continuing to lead. In GT Cup, there's Sloan Uri running second. Adderley Fong back out on the racetrack, and the Team Bentley Absolute car also involved in first lap contact. He tore the rear bumper cap off that car.
That was the incident between Michael Cooper and Fong. They were both involved in that, and that incident, getting word from race control, will be reviewed after the race. So maybe some post-race adjustments, time penalties, or shake hands and move along and see at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
In a sprint race, in a 50-minute race, you just don't have many opportunities. You get caught up in something like that, and everybody knows, and Jeff, you and I talked about this earlier this weekend, your best opportunities to make hay if you're starting deeper in the field, certainly on the start or on any restarts. No pit stops, of course, in this, unless you're absolutely caught out completely, as Fong was there, as he dives to the inside of Udell with the GT car against the GT Cup machine. No contest in terms of sheer speed coming down the hill there. But Fong, everybody's saying, okay, I better make some moves here. If I'm starting 10th, I better get going here on lap 1.
He needs to go if he's going to do that.
Yeah.
And, try to get through and give the best finish you can here in today. But Johnny O'Connell, 3.9 seconds that last time by. He worked that start to absolute perfection when he made that move for the lead coming up into the top of turn number 2 over Alvaro Parent. Alvaro Parent, though, he's playing the points game, I got to think. He's really comfortable back there in second. He knows Patrick Long's a little bit behind him, and we'll see if he can lead up for that.
Welcome back to Sonoma Raceway in Northern California. Pirelli World Challenge GT competition on the CBS Sports Network. He's Jeff Lepper. I'm Rick Benjamin. Hayward Wagner patrolling pit road for us here today on a gorgeous Northern California sunshine September afternoon. Johnny O'Connell in the red caddy, the 3 car, the defending series champ, is your leader. He won the opening round of the weekend yesterday with a last lap pass on one of the K-Pax McLarens. Not Parent's car. That's Parent in second. Third place car, young Austin Cindric, now at age 18, had led just about all the way. Cindric laid down the fast lap of the day. That earned him the pole here, but I think he was schooled by Johnny O on the start. O'Connell an ace at every aspect of this game. O'Connell barged by Cindric on the inside going into turn one, took the lead going up the hill, hasn't looked back. Cindric got shuffled back to third. Part of the learning curve if you're a young driver. It's, racecraft is being fast in the car, being able to lay down fast laps is a huge part of this, no question about it. But racecraft, knowing when to go and how hard to push and those kinds of things, those are the things that a young driver really needs to learn. And Austin Cindric is in that learning process right now. J.D. Davison in the 33 car, meantime, 6th position. Patrick Long, the championship leader, by just a handful coming in here today. Coughed up a lot of his championship lead yesterday with a difficult day and a bad finish. Long in the 58 on the inside, trying to get a top 6 position away here from Davison as they come down the hill.
Patrick Long right now would lose the points lead to Alvaro Parent by 21 points. Parent would be ahead of him with that second place compared to Long in 7th. So Long's going to be desperate to try to get around J.D. Davison. J.D.'s back in 10th in place overall. So really out of the championship this season for that Air Now always evolving Nissan GTR. Long really going to be pushing this Wright Motorsports Porsche Consulting 911 GT3R, trying to get to the front end of this field, especially with Alvaro Parent, his competition in the championship, running second.
6th and 7th in play. Davison in the 33. Long in the 58 car in 7th. Let's check in with Michael Cooper in the 8 car. Let me pick that up there. Let me do a pickup line there for you. Get Michael Cooper in the 8 car meantime. They removed part of that flapping left front fender. Kind of looks like an open wheel modified from the East Coast there. Cooper trying to make some hay after getting stuck back in 27th spot. He is a lap down to the leaders.
Yeah, it's going to be devastating. He's 3rd place in points now. And the way they would be running, he's going to lose that 3rd place to his teammate Johnny O'Connell if Johnny can go ahead and get the lead here and keep the win. He's in the lead. If he can get the win, Johnny O'Connell would pass his teammate for 3rd in that championship.
A lot of things can change here. We've run about 10 minutes of 50, so a lot of laps left. 7 complete. Back in on GT Cup, we check and get a look at Alec Udell and Sloan Uri. Udell leading Uri here by, we'll call it about a second and a half. Uri in the black 20 car. 2nd position in GT Cup right now. Alec Udell in that blue 17 car out in front. You see him disappearing around the corner, heading up toward turn 7.
You talk about points as well. Sloan Uri has got to get a win here or try to pressure Alec Udell if he's going to have any shot at this championship coming into Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. He's got to get this done.
Take a look there at the 16 in GTA. That is a terrific run from Michael Shine, who's out in front there once again. 13th overall for Michael Shine. Not a bad performance.
Not a bad run at all. And you look at the guy right behind him, too, with teammate, not teammate, but Porsche teammate, Cooper McNeil in the WeatherTech Porsche 911 GT3R. Going to make it a 1-2 for Porsche. And just as I say that, looking on the timing charts, it looks like Andrew Kim in the Bentley Continental GT3 making his debut in Pirelli World Challenge competition this weekend, moves up to 2nd in our GT class.
Davison down the hill. Long right behind him. Again, this is the fight for 6th and 7th in GT. We were talking a moment ago about the GTA fight. Wilczek in the 45 has gotten a problem.
Yeah, he's off there in the inside, it looks like, of turn number 2. Probably lost it coming out of turn number 1, but it's great to see a Porsche 911 with that flying lizard livery on it. And Andy Wilczek just having a little bit of problems there as he enters the 2, and he's going to watch out for all that debris right there on that front radiator. Don't want that Porsche overheating.
One of our GTA contenders today, sitting 17th overall after starting 24th. So he's done a nice job in the Flying Lizard car, gaining ground as well. O'Connell in the red 3 car is your leader, starting to catch some of the slower traffic at the back of the field here. The 77 machine, that's Preston Calvert, who had difficulties yesterday, a couple of offs for that car and driver combination. And Johnny O puts him away and starts back up the hill with now a 6-second lead, let's call it, over Alvaro Parent.
Yeah, right at 6, it was 5.955. Now it's 6.031. If you're watching at world-challenge.com, you can watch the live timing there. So go ahead and click on that as you're watching the CBS coverage here on CBS Sportsnet. Alvaro Parent, 2nd place How about that, trying to get this championship right now? He's 21 points ahead of Patrick Long. And I got to think, Rick, this is going to come down to the championship at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Johnny O'Connell in the lead, adding to his advantage. Yesterday's winner on his way perhaps to a double-dip victory today. We'll come right back with more Pirelli World Challenge GT competition from Sonoma Raceway on CBS Sports Network. And we're back with you on our internet coverage, our live streaming coverage of Pirelli World Challenge GT action. GT, GTA, GT Cup, all battling here today at Sonoma. Second half of a doubleheader weekend. Patrick Long in the 58, J.D. Davison in the 33. This fight's been going on for quite some time, over 6th and 7th. Davison has been able to handle everything Patrick Long has thrown at him. I don't think there's a better, pure GT racer in the country than Patrick Long.
It really is, and the only American Porsche factory driver to tell you that his sort of history that he does there. And it's going to be neat to see as Patrick Long later on in his career now, who's going to be the next to sort of take that throne, not away from Patrick Long, but help encourage that too. And, I think some Porsche executives need to start looking here at Pirelli World Challenge. Some of these young kids that are coming up in our GTS class and our touring car class, of course, Alec Udell in our GT Cup category. There might be adding to that repertoire of a Porsche factory driver and not be the only one in America. But Le Mans wins with Patrick Long and running different races all over the place. And see if he can come back and make it 2 championships here in Pirelli World Challenge GT competition.
Well, much like Johnny O'Connell, you look at the field of drivers in Pirelli World Challenge, especially here in GT, to find drivers who are great at sprint racing, great at an hour race, 50-minute races we have in World Challenge, and great at endurance racing, which we're going to see a little bit of next year when Sprint X arrives as a big part of the schedule. And we'll have 2 drivers in a car. That's a pretty rare combination. A lot of guys are good at one or the other, but not at both kinds of disciplines.
We saw the Sprint X at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park make its debut. We saw it again at Utah Motorsports Campus, and that's a 1-hour race, driver change. It lets the gentleman driver come in with his pro and do that there, so it's pretty neat. So it's good to see that series expanding on that Sprint X category. And a good shot there of that Bentley Continental GT3 of Andrew Kim, the number 78 Bentley from Absolute Racing. Comes into the Pirelli World Challenge, makes his debut here not only in the series but in America. He has driven this car in the Asian GT Series Teammates 2 Adderley Fong. So good to see him coming back into the championship season.
Flashing the beams, nobody close to him. Not exactly sure why he was doing that, but Kim doing a terrific job there. Second at GTA to Michael Shine right now in the 78 car. Again, gained 6 spots, started 20th up to 14th overall here as we work our way into the middle portions of this one.
Sitting second in our championship in the GT category right now as they run, not in the overall championship, but as they run. But Andrew Kim in that Bentley. I like the different livery on that car and still want to make sure that we wish our thoughts and our prayers to Andrew Palmer and the Palmer family as he continues to recover, and we wish him a speedy recovery from the incident that we had at Lime Rock Park in that Bentley.
Absolutely the case. Hate to see anybody have those sorts of problems, get injured in a sport we love so much. Does happen occasionally. 11 laps down, and Patrick Long has gotten by J.D. Davison, and we see it here. Long getting by the 33, and there's an indication we mentioned a couple of times this weekend that you see cars close in, can't quite make the pass. You just get the sense that the car chasing is a little faster overall. Once Long cleared the 33, he has started to pull out that lead nicely.
And it was really probably heartbreaking for Jonathan Somerton to watch that happen right in front of him and not be able to take advantage of that as well and follow Patrick Long through. But he's doing a good job here in his debut in Pirelli World Challenge, driving that Dime Racing Mercedes. Frankie Montecalvo is out of that car for the season, still waiting on delivery from that new chassis. So we'll see if that new car can come out and Frankie can return. But right now it's all Jonathan Somerton here for the rest of the season in this Mercedes-Benz.
He is 8th right now in the 66 car in that AMG Mercedes Coupe. Long up to 6th. Davidson getting shuffled back to 7th. Somerton 8th. Colin Thompson 9th, up from 15th on the grid in his McLaren. Peter Cox up to 10th from 16th in one of the 2 Acuras from Real Time. Kyle Marcelli getting in between Cox and his teammate Ryan Eversley. So Marcelli up to 11th. Eversley getting shuffled back to 12th after starting 13th. And then you've got the GTA contenders, Shine and Kim and Cooper McNeil, 13th, 14th, 15th at the top of the board in GTA.
Yeah, it's been battle in our GTA category. You got Drew Riggett starting to come and close in on Cooper McNeil as well. Britt Holden, that Global Motorsports Group Porsche, and Andy Wilzot sort of recovered a little bit from that earlier off he had in that Flying Lizard Porsche. He's only about 10 seconds behind your race leader in Michael Shine in the GTA category.
Johnny O'Connell continues to put in some outstanding fast laps here at Sonoma Raceway. Johnny O's been driving at this place for an awfully, of course, when you're Johnny's age, you've been driving everywhere for a long time. But no, don't tell myself. But no, seriously, this is a place he loves, and he's got a ton of experience here, of course, has won races in all sorts of categories here down through the years. Heitkotter in the 05 car, sitting fourth. Nice run today for Heitkotter, who struggled a bit yesterday.
They did. They weren't sure what the setup was going to be here, and this track's really not good for the Nissan GTR. They knew that was going to happen, so to come out here and get that fourth place the way they're running right now, and then even speaking of which, too, with Michael Lewis in the Porsche, the highest finishing Porsche for Michael Lewis in that Circle Porsche Long Beach Calvert Dynamics 911 GT3R. Perfect. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here as we wrap up our streaming coverage for this segment. We'll go back to our CBS Sports Call, and then we'll be right back with you on the stream right after that.
Welcome back. Pirelli World Challenge GT coverage here at Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma, California. I'm Rick Benjamin. Jeff Lepper is alongside. Everett Wagner on pit road for us with our coverage this weekend. Here on CBS Sports Network. Race leader Johnny O'Connell in that 3-car, the Cadillac ATS-V. Johnny O did a terrific job on the start. Green flag came out. Rolling start here for round number 2 on the weekend. He said, see you later from the third starting spot. Got by the front row McLarens and has set sail, building a 5.7 second lead. Patrick Long in the 58 car, championship leader coming into the weekend. Long back in 6th.
He was hounding J.D. Davidson all race long, trying to get that 6th place position. Does a good job, I don't think J.D. knew he was coming, and Patrick Long just made a brilliant move down the inside of turn number 11 and makes that pass for 6th.
And there is Long in the 58 car. Now he is starting to chase Michael Lewis in the 98, who is 5th. Heitkotter in the 05, the Nissan in 4th spot. And then you've got the 2 McLarens, Cindric, yesterday's race-long leader up until the final half lap, who started on pole here today in the 6 car, and Parent in the 9, who lined up alongside. O'Connell got by both of them when the green came out. Parent settling into 2nd. Cindric has been 3rd since we dropped the green and put this one underway. There's Parent in the 9. One of the 2 K-Pax McLarens, front row starter here today, and a guy who's been consistent, I think, all year long.
He has, and lost that points lead after the contact that he had with Michael Cooper at Utah Motorsports Campus. Comes back here, 2 second-place finishes so far. Well, hopefully second place. They don't want to jinx him, but
long way to go.
Running second right now. He's got a 17-point lead. Retakes that lead over Patrick Long. It was 21, but Long picked up that 6th position from J.D. Davidson, and now is starting to close that gap. 17 points is going to come down to the wire here today, Rick.
As they say, points as they run. That's Jeff Lepper keeping you up to date on how the standings shake out. We're down to that point of the season. 1 weekend of racing left after this one at nearby Laguna Seca Raceway in Monterey, California. The Monterey Peninsula, just south of San Francisco, about an hour and a half on the other side of San Fran, about 2.5 hours from where we are here at Sonoma. And that'll come up in October, and you'll see the coverage here on CBS Sports Network. Brian Heitkotter in the 05, you know the story, basically won that opportunity through online racing, sim racing as it's called. He has done a terrific job winning both rounds at Utah Motorsports Campus as they get by Corey Fergus. He is battling there with the 98 car, Michael Lewis. 4th place in play. Heitkotter has it. Lewis wants it.
I say it all the time, kids, when you're sitting there playing video games and your parents tell you to go to bed, just say, I need a couple more hours. I'm trying to get a lower lap time on my GT Academy with PlayStation, playing Gran Turismo, because I want to be like Brian Heitkotter, an overall GT winner now. So they're going to be in some good company, though, as you see. The Patrick Long starting to show the nose on these 2 guys, and that'll be huge for Long in the championship if he can get around Lewis and Heitkotter.
Long is a guy who knows what it takes to get the job done, no question, as does everybody in the field here. But Patrick Long, an unusually talented and successful driver, Porsche factory driver, as Jeff mentioned earlier here, and he knows his situation. He knows what he's got to try to recoup today because they didn't perform yesterday.
And if you want a great chance to keep track of what he needs to do, Tune into world-challenge.com to check news and updates on the series. If you're a big fan of the series like me and covering all the social media platforms, make sure you go to Facebook and search the Pirelli World Challenge Championships and the Pirelli World Challenge fan page. You can check us out on Twitter at WC Racing, Instagram at Pirelli WC, and all things motorsports, MotorTrendOnDemand.com, including the live stream, as well as world-challenge.com. Kind of keep you in the loop there for everything World Challenge.
Perfect opportunity to do just that. Michael Shine in the 16 car, one of the Porsches in the field here. He is your GTA leader. Up in front, you see the two real-time racing Acuras. Peter Cox in the 34 car sits 10th. Kyle Marcelli kind of the meat and the sandwich there in his Audi in 11th, and then Eversley in the 43 and 12th. Take a look back here in GTA. This is the 78 machine of Kim. He is second now behind Shine in GTA, but it's a pretty substantial gap. 10 seconds last time by.
Yeah, you saw that gap with Shine as he came down into turn number 7. Here he is down at number 9, and you just really just getting a glimpse of the Bentley there in the background with Cooper McNeil right behind the Bentley there. So it looks like he might be within striking distance, lapping a little bit quicker than Andrew Kim is. And Andrew was able to get around Cooper, and now he's got Adderley Fogg, his teammate. Two different classes. They're both GT cars, but GTA versus the GT.
One of the WeatherTech Porsches rolling by. New in the series this week. That's the 79 of Cooper McNeil. Sitting 15th overall. Third in GTA. So nice job for young Cooper McNeil here today. GT Cup still Alec Udell in control in the GMG 17 car.
Yeah, right at a 2.3 second gap, and you see back there with Sloan Urie and then your overall leader Johnny O'Connell coming, but Sloan's not giving up to Alec Udell here. He's pushing as hard as he can. Unfortunately for Sloan, earlier in the season, right after St. Petersburg, had a broken wrist, was unfortunately doing a longboard skateboard, and he called it a stupid error and broke his wrist, and really suffered mid-season after he got that run of wins. And Alec Udell took full advantage of that, and Sloan really has not quite recovered. A lot of guests out here this weekend, once again, from Security National Mortgage and Avasis. Good to see that True Speed. Tyler Tavalic talked to him a little bit earlier and said Sloan's on it. If anybody's going to be on point and can make it happen, it will be Sloan, but right now still stuck behind Alec Udell for second.
Mike Cutter there in the 05. Long now has gotten by J.D. Davison. We saw that earlier, but here comes the 98 car. This is Michael Lewis. He has given up some positions here. Let's take a look at what happened a moment ago. Long has gotten by the 98 car. So that is for 5th spot. Michael Lewis getting shuffled back to 6th there in the Calvert Circle Porsche of Long Beach entry. So Patrick Long on the move. Up to 5th position. Here's a look at how the pass took place moments ago.
Looks like Long got a good run coming out of turn number 7.
Oh.
Really didn't quite give enough room to Michael Lewis. And wow, full-on WRC rally car style over the curbs was that Circle Porsche. And boy, Michael Lewis along for the ride here at Sonoma Raceway.
Porsche GT cars are not built for that, I think most people would tell you.
I think you saw those old Porsche 959, the Rothmans Porsches doing the rally and the Paris-Dakar rally, but I don't think Michael Lewis's car was quite built for that one. They're going to have to take a quick look at that car. I think Calvert Dynamics will be doing some undercarriage repairs coming here between here and Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. That position, Patrick Long picks up 4 more points over Alvaro Parent now after he lost that lead. Parent still running second. The gap is only 13 points now as they run.
Alec Udell continuing to lead in GT Cup. In front of him, the overall race leader, Johnny O'Connell, in the bright red 3 car, the Cadillac. And next in line, the 20, Sloan Urie, running in 2nd spot in GT Cup behind Alec Udell. So that's your 1st and 2nd place machines in GT Cup here at Sonoma Raceway. O'Connell is your overall leader. He is working on a 7-second advantage over Parent and Cindric. More to come from Sonoma.
Well, join us on the stream here, and we're making sure we get all the prerequisites done for the CBS Sports Network coverage. Make sure you tune in to CBS Sports Net. We call it our enhanced coverage of the Pirelli World Challenge. You get to watch it live at MotorTrendOnDemand.com and World-Challenge.com. When you tune in to CBS Sports Network next Sunday, we'll have the driver interviews, our pole winner interviews. We have those great onboard shots of the Replay XD cameras. And you can tune in next Sunday, the 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern to CBS Sportsnet to watch the expanded coverage of the GTS and GTA and GT Cup right here at the Grand Prix of Sonoma presented by Cadillac. I want to give a huge thank you to Cadillac for the title sponsorship of this race, as well as providing our safety car and pace car all season long with that ATS-V and the Escalade.
Watching cars do battle here. Perrette in the 9 car, moving by Alec Udell's GT Cup machine. Austin Cindric will move by Sloan Urie's GT Cup machine. So the teammates from K-Pax running second and third as they try to chop into Johnny O'Connell's lead. When Johnny O, and there you see him exiting the final corner, coming back to the front straightaway here. When he got that huge jump on the field on the start, well, that was teaching Perrette and Cindric especially, I think, a valuable lesson on how you handle a green flag run.
It really was, and I'm not sure if Austin didn't see the green flag or Johnny was just that much better, because the jump that Johnny O'Connell got on that green flag, able to get around them right there in that VP Racing fuel zone. And once you hit that zone, you got to be ready to go right when that flag goes.
Coming up the hill, Udell in the GMG 17 car, 19th overall. Sloan Urie 20th overall.
A lot of support for that young man. Euro World Motorsports, Panther Pipeline, AmSource Capital. Really struggled last year, had an incident in St. Petersburg, Florida, really wiped the car out. He missed half the season as they got that Porsche repaired, got it back underway. But this season, and really after the beginning of the year, him and his engineer Neville just found something with this Porsche and that Global Motorsports group, and he has pretty much been unstoppable the second half of this season.
Patrick Long flashing the lights there at Heitkotter.
And
this
maybe
is for fourth.
For Sloan Urie as well.
Yeah. Long will take a look at Heitkotter. Can't get to the inside coming off 7. Heitkotter doing a terrific job. Very impressed with this young man. Know the history of the story. The double win at Utah a couple of weeks ago. Outstanding weekend for him as he slings the Nissan to the inside of Urie coming down to the right-hander.
And does a good job there with Patrick Long. Read that perfectly. That is a professional driver right there with Patrick Long. He knew that he was going to get held up a little bit in that first right-hander for turn number 9. He just lifted off the gas a little bit, got back in it, and went right to the inside of Sloan Urie on the exit of 9 onto the 10. That was just a good heads-up road move.
Heitkotter and Long continuing to battle for 4th and 5th. O'Connell still your leader. Perrette and Cindric 2nd and 3rd. Urie here will give some ground to Michael Lewis in the 98 car.
I was talking to a few of the GT drivers, and in some of the drivers' meetings here, they've told the GT Cup drivers, in a straight line, we can't touch you. We're the same speed. We are better in the braking zones. We're better in the middle of the corner. So for you as the GT Cup drivers, and of course Johnny O'Connell being at Bob Bondurant, really taught these cars to do that.
Welcome back to Sonoma Raceway. Coverage of Pirelli World Challenge GT action today on CBS Sports Network. He's Jeff Lepper, I'm Rick Benjamin, Hayward Wagner on pit road. The Grand Prix of Sonoma presented by Cadillac, and Johnny O'Connell wheeling that Cadillac ATS-V has just shown you, I think, today what being a great road racer is all about. Another terrific performance for Johnny O, who kind of stole one yesterday on the final few turns from Austin Cindric. Today, he wasted no time. This is kind of the flip side of the performance O'Connell turned in yesterday, where he was patient. He got up alongside Cindric at one point late in the going, kind of showed him his fender, tried to see what he had. Here comes a move by Patrick Long on the inside. This is for position against Heitkotter in the Nissan Nismo 05 car. Out of the final corner here. And Long on the high side onto the front stretch. Looks like he's going to pick up a spot, and he does. Patrick Long moves to 4th.
Yeah, not sure what we're getting word down from Hayward Wagner there on pit lane that Patrick Long possibly has a tire going down. They're monitoring the situation. Now, these cars do have transmitted data that they can send back to the pit lane. You can't transmit from pit to the car, but the car lets you know, fuel temperatures, water, fuel pressure, water temperatures, air pressures with the tire pressure sensors, and we'll have to maintain this and see if that any contact that he had earlier in the race is affecting those Pirelli P0s.
So Long okay for now at 4th position. You're moving by Heitkotter there and starting to pull away. In another case, I think, where Heitkotter was kind of holding Long up. Once Long cleared him, he started to pull away.
Well, 9 points now separate him and Avero Print the way they run. So he's chipped it away from 21 down to 9 points all race long, doing a superb job with that. And I don't see any rubs there. It looks like if it was, it's on that left rear of Patrick Long's right Motorsports Porsche 911 GT3R. Looks like that wheel was a little bit discolored for some damage earlier in the race.
Alvaro Parent, your second place driver in the K-Pax McLaren, the 9 car. His teammate Austin Cindric right behind him in third. About 2.2 seconds separating these two drivers. We put 21 laps on the board here so far today as the clock continues to run. 50 minutes of timed racing, of course, coming your way. We've got about a little less than 15 minutes to go, so maybe another 8 or 9 laps, let's call it, something like that, and we should be seeing a checkered flag here today. Davison in the 33, getting by Alec Udell. Here comes Jonathan Somerton. This is a battle for position. This is for 6th. Somerton in the Mercedes, the AMG silver Mercedes there, right behind Davison now as they come to the front straightaway.
Peter Cox, you see that Acura TLX GT there in the background. His best run so far in his debut here in Pirelli World Challenge, doing a good job up there in 9th. And you can look at the gap between Alec Udell and Sloan Uri. What happens when they get in this lap traffic with the GT cars? It's really that delicate chess match, not for the guys that are even pursuing, but when you're getting past, it's better just to maybe breathe the throttle a little bit, let those guys in the GT cars go by you so you can make your corners really nice. If you dive bomb them into the inside in a GT Cup car, it's going to hurt both of those drivers on the exit of the corner.
Colin Thompson there and the other K-Pax McLaren. There's Davison, Somerton, and Thompson. They are 6th, 7th, and 8th. Cox in 9th. Doing a great job in that real-time Acura TLX GT. And Peter Cox, the guy we mentioned earlier, he and Peter Cunningham doing the development driving of the new NSX that'll be a GT contender starting next season for the Acura, for Honda Racing. And Cox kind of auditioning for a job here, I think. There's no question about that in these Acuras.
Been watching Patrick Long, the teammate here to your GTA points leader, Michael Shine, in the second of those Wright Motorsports Porsche 911 GT3Rs. Doing a great job. Really the only guy this year that's been consistently been able to battle with your GT champion-elect Martin Fuentes is Shine, and he's got a few wins on the season for himself and looking to add to that here today with Andrew Kim sitting in second in GTA and then Cooper McNeil rounding out your top 3 in that category. When we talk about Colin Thompson, you see him there. He earned our Optima Battery Best Start of the Race Award in that orange and black McLaren. If there ever is a thing called a sophomore jinx, he is proof positive in this year. Nothing but bad luck in that McLaren and that driver. It seems race after race. You just feel so bad because he's such a good kid, his good family, a dad, a long-time club racer, national championship in the SCCA runoffs, and then now Colin Thompson coming over here into the pro ranks and the GT Cup champion last year and then into GTA now. Full-on GT driver this season.
6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, all in play. James Davison has 6th in front of Somerton, and the 7th place car in 8th, it's Colin Thompson. Johnny O'Connell is still your leader. 7+ seconds to the good over Alvaro Parent. We'll be right back with more Pirelli World Challenge GT action from Sonoma Raceway.
All right. Looking on the timing charts, and got to give it up for the number 97 WeatherTech Porsche 911 GT3R from Gunnar Jeanette. Fastest race time, mile per hour speed here, but 97.336 average around this 12-turn, 3.85 mile road course. So good to see Gunnar Jeanette, even though he's hard back in the field after that little bunch up they had down there in turn number 7, sitting 16th overall. Just lost another position to, not sure what happened to Michael Lewis there as he dropped all the way back to 15th. But starting to recover back. But a good run for Gunnar Jeanette setting that fastest race lap.
Yeah, we started to talk about Michael Lewis a little earlier and didn't get a chance to finish the thought. There's been so much action in this Pirelli World Challenge GT round here at Sonoma Raceway, the second half of our doubleheader Grand Prix of Sonoma presented by Cadillac weekend here that, Michael, I think may have had an off because he had dropped back to about 21st, 22nd in the overall running order. He's been slowly making his way back up through it. Michael Lewis, son of longtime performance racing industry organizer Steve Lewis, West Coast-based young driver. He's raced in Europe, been all over the place here. And now all of a sudden on the charge again. Boy, he has gobbled up a ton of cars. They're showing him back in 6th.
Yeah, might think there might be a transponder issue there with Michael Lewis's car because I was like, I don't think, he did that.
I don't think he passed 10 cars in one lap.
He did that World Rallycross jump there in the S's, did a good job, but I don't think he did that. But how about this DeVilbiss Audi R8 LMS? It's the previous generation chassis for this car. Spoke with Nick Short from CRP Racing trying to see if they can acquire one of the new Audi R8 chassis, but Kyle Marcelli has just done a superb job all season long. DeVilbiss, a longtime supporter now on the side of that car, and just doing with what he's got. He's done a superb job. Sitting back in 11th, really not the run he was looking for here today. But Kyle Marcelli is one of the guys that's on the up and up here in the Pirelli World Challenge. Actually stepped into the Black Dog Speed Shop Camaro here for Lassen Aschenbach for practices and qualifying in that car and set the fastest race lap in that GTS category. So we know he knows how to wheel those cars and just doing a superb job in that DeVilbiss Audi.
Yeah, Kyle Marcelli, one of the young drivers, kind of on the rise, maybe a little bit below the radar to some, but he's driving a lot of different things, getting a lot of seat time in a lot of different kinds of cars, and I think somebody to watch here as the years go by.
Yeah, he is, and I think we'll get more of that as we see next year what happens there, and going to do some prototype challenge races. He's done World Challenge races, stepped into the GTS category, so good to see that he's made a home right here in Pirelli World Challenge.
Absolutely. The case ran a Trans Am race at Detroit earlier this year, was very impressive there, so certainly a guy to keep an eye on, no doubt about it. 25 laps complete. There's the Byers 00, the US LED car for Corey Fergus, one of our GT Cup competitors. Fergus 24th overall right now. Fourth in GT Cup.
Yeah. Fourth in that class, and that Byers Porsche on the side of that car for a reason. That's where he works and sells Porsches. So gets to race them. You got US LED and then Aero on there as well. This was your 2015 touring car champion in a Porsche Cayman. Was able to work his way up from that touring car category now into the GT Cup class. And it really talks strength about Pirelli World Challenge and that built-in ladder system where a touring car driver has a chance to come in, race in the GT class, maybe move up as this guy right here, Michael Cooper, in that Cadillac, able to do that from touring car champion to GGS champion to now a GT paid factory driver for Cadillac Racing, living the dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooper had that incident earlier. There was contact, as you can see, damage to the left front corner of that car. He had to pit, lost a lap. And Michael Cooper stuck back in 25th spot. Does not look as though he's going to be able to improve his situation a whole lot here in the final few moments of today's GT competition at Sonoma Raceway. We've got about 8.5 minutes to go of racing time for another 5 laps or so, let's say, and see where we are in this one as we watch Fergus continue to put in solid laps here. 24th overall, 4th in GT Cup right now. Johnny O'Connell continues to hold about a 7-second lead over Alvaro Parent. In the 9 car, Austin Cindric continues to run third, another 2 seconds further back. So O'Connell, unlike what we've seen so far this weekend in GT yesterday, in GTS both days, no pressure being put on the leader here. So O'Connell, for those who might have doubted Johnny's continued ability to get the job done at the back 9 of his very, very accomplished driving career, no question about that. A guy who's won championships 4 times over here in Pirelli World Challenge, won tons and tons of races around the world over the years. People might have been starting to say, hey, are those cars coming to the end of their dominance? Is Johnny at a point where he's not the guy to beat week in and week out? Well, I think he's answered a resounding no to those questions that might have been whispered a little about where that program is and where he is behind the wheel. O'Connell has just shown you conclusively this weekend, the old joke with Dale Earnhardt, old age and treachery versus youthful exuberance. Well, I didn't see a lot of treachery, but certainly a lot of experience for Johnny O, and he is about to put together a back-to-back weekend sweep here at Sonoma Raceway. Take a look at Height Cutter in the 05, sitting 5th right now, and Michael Lewis in the 98 running in 6th, back on the lead lap. They are 20 and 22 seconds off the lead, which is held by Mr. O'Connell.
Yeah, there is Michael Lewis, so obviously that must have been a little bit of a problem there for the transponder, the timing issue that we saw him marred all the way back there and was afraid he had a problem, but no problems there, even after that high-flying Dukes of Hazzard jump that he had over there in turn number 7A or 8A coming down into there and trying to battle now with Brian Highcutter, trying to see if he can squeeze out a top 5. And here's a youngster, Michael Lewis, that unfortunately lost his ride, was with the Effort Porsches at the beginning of the year. That team shuttered and set out a round of the race, but talking with Steve Lewis, his dad, and said, Michael went out and got all the sponsorship that he needed. Calvert Dynamics, the Preston Calvert, was generous enough to bring a car over for him to let him come out here and race and run, and they did the Sprint X race at Utah Motorsports Campus, able to get a win there in that class, and just a good job for Michael Lewis to come back here and battling in that 5th place game.
All right, well, that'll conclude our coverage on the internet on world-challenge.com and on motortrendondemand.com. We'll come right back and pick up our call on CBS Sports Network to take you to the checkered flag. Back at Sonoma Raceway, Sonoma, California, Pirelli World Challenge GT action. Always nice when the event sponsor has a car that's in the lead. The Grand Prix of Sonoma, presented by Cadillac, and the Cadillac ATS-V of Johnny O'Connell has led virtually wire to wire. There might have been a couple of feet past the green flag that Tim Cindric's son, Austin, and Alvaro Parent were out in front. They were the front row starters, but Johnny O elbowed his way by the two McLarens going up the hill after turn one and headed to two, and he has not looked back, building that lead to almost 10 seconds here with just a couple of minutes of racing to go in this Pirelli World Challenge weekend here at Sonoma Raceway. Take a look at the Flying Lizard Porsche and GTA. We'll get you caught up on some of the other battles for position. This is the fight for second spot, and it has become a little bit of a fight now. Austin Cindric, the pole sitter, after setting fast lap yesterday, he led most of the way yesterday, lost the win to Johnny O'Connell on the final few turns of yesterday's GT event here at Sonoma. Cindric now starting to pick him up and lay him down. He is chopped into Parent's advantage. Parent maybe half a second ahead as they come to turn 7 with a couple of laps to go. Preston Calvert moves over in the Calvert Racing 77 car, one of the GT Cup competitors. Parent hanging on to second here, but Cindric may have something for him.
Yeah, Austin Cindric starting to close that gap over Alvaro Parent, the sort of factory McLaren driver coming over from the factory here to that K-Pex team. Austin Cindric, the 18-year-old now, full adult now, so he's not a kid anymore. I guess we'll call him an 18-year-old. And Austin Cindric, pretty much if there is a car in the country that is racing, Austin Cindric's going to want to be behind the wheel of that. But watching these two guys, and I'm starting to get a glimpse of Patrick Long just showing the nose right behind here. I don't think there's going to be enough time for him to close in, but there's that gap. You see Cindric on the exit of 11, Long down here into the braking zone and going. So I guess that tire that the crews were worried about losing some air pressure maybe stabilized a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue. About 7 seconds, the gap between Cindric running third as they head up the hill here in the aqua and black machine, and back to the fourth place car of Patrick Long. So a little bit of a gap now. It was 6/10 last time by, but Parent, I think, realizing that Cindric was starting to knock on the door a little bit for second spot. And Cindric trying to get something going here in the late stages, but Parent picking it up and starting to open up a couple of car length advantage on his teammate in the 6th car. About 3 minutes to go in this 50-minute timed event here at Sonoma Raceway. So time for a couple of more laps, perhaps after this one. See when the white flag will come out. Michael Shine in the 16, the Porsche, the Wright Motorsports GTA car. Shine 13th overall. He's gained 4 spots since the drop of the green, and he is leading Andy Kim in the 78 and the Bentley Team Absolute to entry in GTA. As we take a look at those entries, there's Shine. Martin Fuentes in the 07, having his problems after locking up the GTA title.
Yeah, we call him the champion-elect because there's still some stuff there. And, wow, not sure what that was. Somebody dropped a little bit wheel off there. We saw Shine snap his way back over there. But Martin Fuentes, problems here, but he is your GTA champion.
White flag, we're told, will be out this time for Johnny O'Connell. O'Connell has led since the start in that 3-car, trying to double up. 1 to go for Johnny O'Connell. Fergus back there in the 00 in GT Cup, 25th overall, sitting 4th. Right now in GT Cup competition. O'Connell all by himself, uncontested, just needs to keep it on the black for another mile and a half or so here at Sonoma Raceway. No change among the top 3. O'Connell started 3rd. Parent started 2nd. Cindric started 1st. A little bit of an inversion there as O'Connell took the lead going into turn 1. Cindric got shuffled back to 3rd and has pretty much dropped anchor there. He is 7/10 behind his teammate now as they hold 2nd and 3rd. Long up from 14th on the grid to run 4th, but he's 5 seconds behind the 3rd place car. And Brian Highcutter hoping to hang on for a top 5 here. He's got his hands full. Gap last time back to Michael Lewis at 6th, only about a 10th and a half. So best battle on the track would be 5th and 6th as we watch some of these other contenders. This is 2nd and 3rd here. Parent in the 9, Cindric in the 6. The 2 K-Pax McLarens run 2nd and 3rd into turn 7 on the final lap.
Boy, Austin Cindric's going to want to do this. I know he won't make a bonsai move to try to get around his teammate, but if it was anybody else, you never know what might happen. But one little bobble from Alvaro Parent, Cindric will be right there to pounce.
Well, Cindric, I'm sure, was hoping to put the same kind of move on Parent that he had done to him yesterday by Johnny O'Connell. That's where Johnny O got the lead on the final lap here at Sonoma Raceway. Speaking of final laps, white flag flew last time by. Checkered flag will be in the air in just a couple of moments for your 4-time series champion. Johnny O'Connell picks up 2 straight wins here at Sonoma Raceway. Back-to-back victories for the 3-car, and Johnny Red is back in the title fight as we get set for the season finale weekend at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. The K-Pax McLarens will run second and third. Alvaro Parent finishes second. Austin Cindric runs third in the 6-car. Patrick Long will be next in line to finish in 4th spot. There's Ryan Eversley in the 43. Looks like he's on pace to come home in 12th overall. Michael Shine in the 16. Looks like he will take GTA honors today and 13th overall. Shine is your winner in the Wright Motorsports Porsche, so congratulations to Mike Shine in car number 16. Andy Kim will come across the line in second. Cooper McNeil will run third. Alec Udell pretty much unchallenged in GT Cup. He and Sloan Uri have battled it out for much of the day, but in the last 10 minutes or so, Udell has pulled away. He's opened up a several-second advantage over his nemesis, Uri, in the 20 car. So Alec Udell down the final straightaway here into the carousel. He will make the last couple of corners and bring the Global Motorsports Porsche, the 17-car, home with another victory in GT Cup competition today. Kicks it sideways just a little, puts on a little show for the fans, and the checkered flag waves over Alec Udell. So Johnny O'Connell is your winner. When we come back at Sonoma Raceway, Haywood Wagner will talk to our winners in Victory Lane. We'll be right back on CBS Sports Network.
Well, Johnny O'Connell gets his second win of the race weekend, so good job for him. Want to thank everybody that tuned in to MotorTrendOnDemand.com and World-Challenge.com for the live races here at Sonoma Raceway. Of course, the Grand Prix of Sonoma presented by Cadillac. Make sure you tune in 3 weeks, October 6th, 7th, and 8th at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca for the season finale of our GTA, GT Cup. We'll have all the races there at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, including Touring Car and Sprint X live at MotorTrendOnDemand.com.